Hi VC, hope everyone's well. George back. Vinyl finds the last 3 weeks. Got 9 records to show you, just a wee bit of a mixture. So we heard in the intro there, Roy Harper. And this is his LP from 1967, his second LP, Come Out Fighting, Genghis Smith. I picked this up at my local record shop. Sorry about that. Yeah, this is a mono copy. And I guess Dave at my local record shop maybe didn't realise it was a mono copy. It cost me £20. And I think the average, he's generally pretty good with he knows the prices of things, but kind of think he didn't realise it was a mono copy. So it's worth a wee bit more. It's a wee bit noisy, I'm just going to wash a few of my recent purchases. Yeah, Roy Harper, thanks to Rob Ison, got me into Roy Harper a year or two ago, and I've just playing him recently and give me another spurt to go and buy another couple of albums or so. So Roy Harper, yeah, he's quite a character, and he can go for, he's a fantastic guitarist, a bit of a poet. It's hard to define Roy Harper. I would put him in the folk camp, really. He plays a lot of acoustic guitar, but great electric guitarist, as you can hear from that intro. I'm going to speak about that in a minute. So Come Out Fighting, Genghis Khan, from original UK mono copy. There's Roy there. Was that CBS? Fantastic album. His second album, and he's still sort of finding his feet. And it's over the place a wee bit psychedelic in place, folk psychedelic. But all Roy's albums, the ones I've heard anyway, are really pretty good. Quite a character, really underrated, really. So that's Roy Harper. And the second one. This album here, Roy Harper, Live in Your Living Room. This is from 1986, so quite a different time span. And yeah, I think it's mostly Roy himself, I think, really. It's a custom label one side. It's on Black EMI label. I think this cost me about £18. You write the price inside, yeah, £18. Yeah, good album. Some fantastic guitar on it. Roy Harper, side 1 has 1 track, One of Those Days in England. Absolutely fantastic. Great banter with the crowd. I think it was recorded from various locations. Yeah, Roy Harper, Live in Your Living Room. So I got them from a local record shop, and I picked this one up too. It's Richard and Linda Thompson, Sunny Vista, and a great cover. This isn't Richard Thompson and Linda, it's just an advertisement, I guess. Thompson's Holidays. We all back in the day in the UK went by Thompson's to Spain when we went on our holidays, and I think they changed their name to TUI. I think they went bust, but I think they've started up again, but they'll never be like the old Thompsons. So that's a fantastic cover. Might be good in vinyl tags and you know, whatever in future time. Yeah, that's the back. Richard and Linda, and you can see them, and they look more like in a Russian deserted city. and On Holiday. Great cover. Yeah, I get from 1979, I think. The Chrysalis label. Wee bit of a mixed bag on here. I mean, they're trying to, I think, Richard Thompson's obviously in the folk rock camp, Linda Thompson, folky, but they're trying to do a wee bit more modern music in here. Really, I think side two's better when Linda Thompson does takes more a lead role in some of the songs. We've got backing vocals on one track by Jerry Rafferty, and Glenn Tilbrook does backing vocals on a couple of tracks. We've got Pete Wingfield on keyboards. So yeah, good album, good addition, and local shop. Cost me, I don't know, £18. Now next off we have this LP here. I'm going to struggle with the pronunciations. But the main thing here was it was on Water Lily Acoustics record label. They were an American audiophile label, I believe. Just an insert there with a bit of a mantra. Obviously it's Indian music. And it's called Sarandamani. And we have Vishwa Mohan Bhatt, and he's playing that sort of, the main guy obviously, playing like a converted guitar. It's hard to actually see all the strings on it. It's called a Mohan Veena. And we've got the other chap playing tabla. Yeah, Water Lily Acoustics, I think their first release, or the first time I heard about them, was what's his name? Ry Cooder made the album Down by the River, A Meeting at the River, by VM Bhatt. And I got on CD at the time. It was quite inexpensive. Even the CD, I reneged on the album and always regretted it. And you can find that album, Analog Productions. I eventually got a copy. They released it. And this is from the series, these albums, and they do quite a lot of world music. Hence this, a lot of Indian music and world music. The great thing about it for me also is it's all analog, triple analog, and it's recorded in all valve and tube gear. So the custom built tube microphones by Tim DiParvicini, he died last year, a year before. Tim had the hi-fi company Ear Electronics, Esoteric Audio Research, and years ago he worked for what's the Japanese company? It'll come to me. Anyway, it's all tube gear, custom built tube tape recorders, and yeah, sound quality is really good. Again, I got this at a really good price. I paid, I think, about £20 for this, and the mid price on Discogs is about 70. It does need a clean, so there you go. So next off, Steve Carlson got me into VMP, always get it wrong. VPI being the high-end American turntable manufacturer, VMP, the record club, and he showed a few months ago John Coltrane, Sunship, so you don't have to be a member of VMP to get the records. It works out a bit cheaper, and also never really wanted to be in a club and subscribe to it, and I was getting enough anyway. But anyway, this month came out, and it's The Three Faces of Yusuf Lateef. It's all treble A. I think it's cut by Kevin Gray. Can't remember. It says on the label, pressed at RTI. There we go. It's on Riverside, the original label. Riverside. Released by Craft Records. This is originally from 1960. We have Ron Carter on cello. Yusuf Lateef, obviously Hugh Lawson on piano, and bass player Herman Wright on bass and Lex Humphreys on drums. Fantastic album, absolutely brilliant. I only have 2 other albums of Yusuf Lateef, so this was like a no-brainer. The only thing I was going to say, funny in the writing here, it says made in Czech Republic. That's is it ZT or whatever? So how can it be made in Czech Republic when it's pressed at RTI? Something funny going on there. But fantastic album, absolutely sounds great. Three Faces of Yusuf Lateef, obviously he's playing flute, tenor sax and the oboe. Magic album, and I'll give you a wee blast of that. Okay, so if I'm getting an album from America, you've got to buy 2, haven't you? And the month before, their classic album of the month was Miles Davis, Star People, yeah. That's actually a drawing by Miles Davis, I believe. It's from 1983. This is on a double album. No, it's not a double, it's a single album on 2 records. It's not pressed at 45, it's pressed at 33. Bit of a strange one. I think they would have went the full hog and done it at 45, and it's no gatefold. Always like a gatefold with 2 albums at least. But anyway, keeping costs down. Yeah, real good album. Nice to get an upgrade. So I traded 3 or 4 albums in at my local record shop this morning, and yeah, I mean. I had Tutu back in the day. I got Tutu when it first came out, and it was slagged by a lot of the big jazz guys, but I wasn't really into jazz then, and I just loved it. I loved his trumpet on it, and especially the bass, but from Marcus Miller, which I went on to get another few LPs. Yeah, and who else? We got John Scofield on guitar. It's a real good album, real good jazz album, and it just sounds fantastic on this record. Its sound quality is really amazing, so I was real happy. I'm a converted fan of VMP, and I shall definitely be buying more. Their postage from America to the UK is at the moment is a real good price, so didn't scare me away too much. Star People, Miles Davis, cracking album. Fusion, that's what I was trying to say, fusion jazz, yeah. It's out of the Bitches Brew era from 1970s, so it's if you know Tutu and you don't, this is more in the vein of Tutu. So next off we have, I've been picking up some tone posts. I had mostly tone posts anyway, so when the 2 or 3 I've not got, the ones are a wee bit cheaper for whatever reason, I picked up this one. And it's Leo Konitz plays with the Gerry Mulligan Quartet. And so we have Lee Konitz on alto sax, Gerry Mulligan on baritone sax, Chet Baker on trumpet, Larry Bunker on drums, and Carson Smith or Joe Mondragon on bass. It's from, these sides were recorded between three sessions from 1953, so it's a compilation, and it would have appeared originally as 10-inch. So I was on the wrong side there. It's on Pacific Jazz, and generally Pacific Jazz tone poets, you don't get gatefold, but they stick in an extra lyric sheet or story. Yeah, West Coast Jazz. Now the reason I didn't buy it at the time is I didn't fancy it, and yeah, it's not a great album for me, really, you know. The West Coast LA Jazz is a wee bit soft for me, so they're playing standards on here. It's from 1953, 54, and there's no great direction on the album, so not one of the best, and yeah, should have listened to my intuition about it. It's not a bad album, it's just, it's not cooking enough for me, really. Lee Konitz plays with the Gerry Mulligan Quartet. 2 to go, and this is just J.J. Johnson from a couple of months back, the Blue Note Classics. I had to take my copy back, it was badly dished and warped. The eminent J.J. Johnson, and again this was originally released in 1956, but it's from 3 sessions from 53, 54 and 55, so they would have been on 10-inch discs, and 56 been made into a 12-inch. This is volume 1. I guess volume 2 will appear at some point. And I'm not the greatest lover of the trombone, but there's some fantastic musicians on this album. Clifford Brown on trumpet, Paul Chambers on bass, Kenny Clark drums, Horace Silver, we've got Hank Mobley, and we've got Charles Mingus on us. An array of fantastic musicians, and the trombone, he never takes over. Everybody gets their space. So I traded in a 1983 copy originally to swap this with the Blue Note Classics. Fantastic album, real good, worth a pickup. And last but not least, Like Somebody in Love, Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers. This is a European copy from 2013. Not a real easy album to find. 4245. And the first thing that caught my eye with this LP is I got Gratian Munker III's his second album, Blue Note, and it has a out of focus picture on it, which I really liked, the front cover. And that's what drew me to this album, the out of focus cover, fantastic cover. This was recorded in 1960, released in 1960 originally. We've got Lee Morgan on trumpet, Wayne Shorter tenor sax, Bobby Timmons piano, Jimmy Merritt bass, and Art Blakey on drums. A real good album, and I'll play a wee outro off it. It's real, Art Blakey takes a back seat in this. And I know Art Blakey in his albums is generally the captain, he's driving ahead, but not in this. He takes a bit of a back seat and it's a real mellow album. One track it will play, Johnny's Blue, written by Lee Morgan, and the side two is three songs by Wayne Shorter, and Jimmy Van Heusen does the intro song. A bit of a standard. It's a real relaxed album, and sometimes you go, oh, I'm going to play Art Blakey, and sometimes you're not in the mood for it. You want something a wee bit more mellow. This is a fantastic album. Not an easy album. It's not been released a hell of a lot, I don't think. So I was pleased to pick this up at a reasonable price. Can't remember how much I paid. Okay then, so we'll play with that. Have a great weekend, everybody. Hope you can see my head here. I'll have to need more scaffolding under the phone. Catch you later. Bye then.